Witnesses are reminded you're under oath and you're here to answer questions to the committee. I now recognize Mr. Kazar from Texas for 5 minutes.
Chairwoman Green, you and my Republican colleagues have called this hearing that is all about cutting off money to nonprofits for things that are, quote, contrary to the national interest. What we've heard here is my Republican colleagues going after nuns and priests that feed immigrants, going after nonprofits that do scary things like support our queer youth. It is astounding to me. But we do have one nonprofit leader here, Mr. Krikorian. Mr. Krikorian, you're the director of the Center for Immigration Studies, correct?
Yes.
And according to your organization's website, you do receive taxpayer funding or have from the Department of Justice and the Census Bureau.
Yeah, we did research contracts for them many years ago.
Got it. And so you do have a taxpayer-funded nonprofit, and your nonprofit, as we've discussed in committee before, has shared articles from Kevin McDonald, whose work argues that Jewish people, alleged by him, are genetically driven to destroy Western societies. Is that correct?
We distributed no such article.
But you did distribute work from this anti-Semite, correct?
We distributed work all across the spectrum, from New York Times to anyone else.
Got it. Okay. Your organization has also circulated an article by Holocaust denier John Friend. Is that correct? We said last time we were in a hearing that, yes, you have.
We've distributed no articles about Holocaust denial, obviously.
But you have from Holocaust denier John Friend?
I don't know, but I assume so, yeah.
Your website right here does talk about that.
Yeah.
So I have a yes or no question. Is promoting the work of Holocaust deniers and anti-Semites contrary to the national interest?
Promoting Holocaust denial and what have you is contrary to the national interest. That's why we haven't done it.
But you have promoted the work of Holocaust deniers, like John Friend.
There were several examples. We've also promoted the work of Open Borders people in that effort to present a broad range of views. Yeah, absolutely. And we don't endorse one way or the other.
So you have promoted the work of Holocaust deniers, but have you received anything from DOJ asking whether they want to cut your funding? Have Republicans called you in to ask about your nonprofit and said, hey, we don't like that you've promoted the work of Holocaust deniers? Have you had any funding cut by DOJ or by this committee?
We don't get any funding to be cut.
But you have received Department of Justice funding. And
decades ago, yes, yeah.
And so, look, let me just be real clear here. This hearing is not about taking on nonprofits that are going, quote, against the national interest or who are, quote, extreme. This is all about trying to shut down nonprofits who might share political views that are different from that of the President of the United States. This hearing, they're going after organizations they call radical because they're kind to kids that are having trouble in school, kind to kids that are trying to figure out who they are in the world. They're going after nonprofits, and you, sir, and your nonprofit are saying that the radical people are the priests and nuns that feed the hungry, the nonprofit organizations that, yeah, give shelter to immigrants, that I understand your Center of Immigration Studies does not like immigration very much. But let me tell you, the radical folks aren't the folks out there doing good. The radical folks that you might disagree with, their version of the good, but the radical folks are the people that in your face come to this committee hearing and are sharing through their websites, through their listservs, articles by Holocaust deniers. And you're saying, yeah, we didn't share the Holocaust denying articles, but we shared some of his other stuff. I'll make my last point here clear. I represent Texas. I have long-standing ties to the city of El Paso, where in 2019, 23 people were murdered at a Walmart. The murderer said, quote, it was based on the Hispanic invasion of Texas. And after the shooting, Mr. Krikorian, you said that the manifesto was, quote, remarkably well written. Can you tell us which part of his manifesto was remarkably well written?
What I meant by that was that it seemed improbable for a nutcase like that to have written something that was relatively, at least grammatically correct. That was my point.
Look, folks here on this committee are trying to shut down nonprofits because they disagree with them. You're a nonprofit, and you, sir, saying that the El Paso shooter had a manifesto
The
that's remarkably
gentleman's
well-written,
time has
that is
expired.
extreme,
The
and
gentleman's-
what goes around comes around.
The gentleman's time
important.
has expired.
Chairwoman, okay.
I now recognize Mr. Jack from Georgia for 5
Chairwoman, I
minutes.
just want to make clear
Thank you,
that
Madam
what goes
Chair.
around can come
and
around.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As one
From California.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We're obviously here for another hearing, which has literally nothing to do with government efficiency. This committee, of course, has talked about fencing. We've gone after foreign aid, and now we're going after community nonprofits, which actually help and support people. And our committee is doing all of this without ever once getting testimony from Elon Musk, the head of Doge, of which, of course, this committee is now named from, and of course, who's now apparently leaving the White House as well. Now, every Democrat on this subcommittee voted to subpoena Elon Musk so he could come here and testify and be accountable to Congress. But that was blocked by our Republican colleagues, which, of course, in of itself is irresponsible and outrageous. And you would think that Republicans on this committee would want Elon Musk to testify just as much as we do. Now, all our Republican colleagues might also want to ask Elon Musk about this message, which he actually just posted yesterday. Now I'm going to read this message Elon Musk posted. It says, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. And I'll emphasize, shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong, you know it. Now this was actually just yesterday. He actually posted this, what's pretty rough if you ask me. And on top of that, I would have printed it out, but just 20 minutes ago, he posted another message that says, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay, kill the bill. And of course, we know the only people who voted for this bill are actually House Republicans, including every Republican in this room. All these Republicans here on this committee, they all voted for this bill that now Elon Musk is saying should be killed and is saying is awful. I actually agree with Elon Musk on this. It takes health care away from 13 million Americans. It cuts food for veterans and seniors, all to finance, of course, huge tax breaks for the wealthy. Now, it's also interesting because Chairwoman Green, I understand, now regrets voting for this bill, as she mentioned yesterday. Is that correct, Chairwoman Green?
Are you yielding me time?
No, I'm just asking if you, I think you say now you regret voting for the bill. Is that correct?
The bill actually destroys what you guys voted for the past 4 years, and I'm proud to have voted for that bill to fund border security,
actually,
to
Chairwoman Green,
deport all these
yesterday-
illegals you guys let
Thank
in
you,
the
Madam
country.
Chairwoman. Chairman, yesterday you actually said that you regret actually voting for the bill. You posted after Elon's tweet that you didn't know certain provisions were in it and that you would have voted no if you had known. And so obviously you didn't do a thorough review of the bill. And I'm not surprised, of course, that Republicans in this Congress are now going back and forth on the bill. They voted for the bill, now they want to oppose it. We don't know what to actually believe. And for instance, this is the same thing that's happening with other big programs like Social Security, which we know Elon Musk and Doge have actually talked and attacked constantly over and over again. We know how badly already customer service has been hurt. People are waiting in long lines at Social Security offices, all because of these Doge efforts. Now, again, Chairwoman Green invited to testify today one of our witnesses, and I think it's important to note this. Mr. Turner, you're one of our witnesses today, an expert on economics and a bunch of other things.
Not economics.
Mr. Turner, you were invited to testify as an expert on government spending. This is your post. Is this correct? Did you post this, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you called Social Security a Ponzi scheme,
100%.
which we know Elon Musk has also done. I'm glad you admitted it. Social Security is a government-sponsored Ponzi scheme, as you said. Now,
What about the second part, though, sir? I should be able to keep
Sure,
100% of my
you can read the whole
money
thing. It's
and
right up
not
here.
watch government waste
Thank
it,
you, sir.
giving
This is my
$9
time,
billion
sir. Thank you, sir. My
giving
time.
$9 billion
Sir,
to
reclaiming
climate
my
groups?
time, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you. Thank you, sir. A Ponzi scheme. And so I think it's interesting, of course, that as one of our Republican witnesses is calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme, and that's a person that we should be taking advice from here today. Without Social Security, 22 million people would be pushed into poverty. That includes over 16 million seniors and nearly 1 million children. And in fact, Elon Musk has also said, and agreed with you, sir, that this is a Ponzi scheme. I think it's ironic that you are one of our witnesses talking about efficiency when you want to attack the single best program that we have to support people, not just out of poverty, but across this country to uplift them to ensure they can afford a decent life. We on this committee need to work every single day, not just to protect Social Security, but to hold Republicans accountable for attacking Medicare, Medicaid, for attacking Social Security and the programs that we all depend on. With that, I yield back. Thank you.
The gentleman yields. I now recognize Mr. Timmons from